Thank you so much. My name is Taiwo Ibidapo. All right, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a child of God, and Holy Ghost baptized child of God for that matter. All right, and I'm a worshiper. That's what I'm created to do, I'm born to do. I wouldn't have been doing well anywhere else but this. So I bless God, that's who I am. Yeah, life before Christ. Born in the church or born into the family of Christians, you would say that I was a moralist. So, like, I would say that I didn't really know what it meant to be in the world, to be honest. The only thing that changed was now that I'm saved. That was the only thing that changed. So, but then I didn't have, not that I was not worldly, yeah, because once you don't have Christ, you are worldly. Once you are not godly, you are worldly. All right. So when I was in the world, so it was just like I was a churchgoer, fine, a pastor's son, a pastor's child. But I think I used to have some girlfriends that time. My first set of girlfriends from the same church or any church that my father pastored. And it wasn't, all those kind of girlfriends weren't just, we're not into the real stuff that people do. But then just peer stuff, peer pressure. You don't have a boyfriend. No, you are missing out. So one time like that, can I go ahead? Sometimes I was like, let me to just have one. So they set me up with one girl. And that was the beginning. So back to back, and that was just it. I think that was the only thing I would say that life before Christ. Every other thing, no drugs, no alcohol, drinks. I mean, till date, I've never tasted a bottle of alcohol. I mean, no, not even palm wine. Anyways, yes. I got saved March 2005, but I took it back, took my life back, went back to doing rubbish, but I sure knew that I wasn't committed as I should, all right? But then at some point, I started realizing, and then I knew that I needed to rededicate my life. So that was what happened, and it happened in February 2010 on my School of Disciples graduation day, live at RCCG Ijebode, Ogun Province 2, Molipa, Ijebode. On that fateful Saturday, Pastor Dejafue was a provincial pastor at that time. So a pastor came to preach from camp and then was talking about, now that you are putting on gown and you want to collect this scroll, right? Are you sure you are a disciple? It hit me. I stood up with my gown and I was the head of my set. We just ended a 3-day fast, marathon fast. One would have said that should have fixed it. But until a soul is saved, the person is not saved. So I knew that I needed to have my soul rededicated to Jesus. So in that large congregation, I just stood up and I went to the front. I was alone. But by the time I opened my eyes, I saw so many grand ones with me. So I became first born among the disciples. who were to give his life or her life to Christ. So that was what happened. February 2010, I dedicated my life to Christ. It has been a crescendo journey. Even though at some point you would say that, to be honest, there was this sinusoidal movement, tough and crest movement in between. How do I mean? You know, once you don't fulfill the duty of a real child of God as per spiritual obligations, what are the spiritual obligations? Deep fellowship with God, communion with the Holy Ghost, adequate time spent in His presence. Once those things are not there, you know, these are the checks and balances, all right? So I would say that at some point, to be honest, you know, I shared a testimony, or so, was it testimony or so, an experience on Wednesday. You want to eat, and then you have Bible beside you. Which one should you do first? Should you feed your flesh first, or you feed your spirit? So, well, I don't know what Christianity is defined by most people. I don't know what relationship is defined, but as for me, as I'm concerned, I'm a work in progress. I have not arrived. I was awake early this morning. I went out to pray, and I was just telling God, have mercy. Have mercy. Mercy is not a prayer of sinners alone. Let me pray like that. We all need mercy. Mercy to live rightly. Mercy to stay consistent. Mercy to, you don't do those things by power. For by strength shall no man prevail. You don't do that by some calculations. Because you are so smart you think, we are dealing with a smarter devil. And so you need to have, there's an advantage. It's mercy. All right? Yeah. So I'm just that believer who is a work in progress. However anybody wants to feel. Hey, you have raised the dead. Yes, by God's grace. Twice. But it's not, I hid in your name. I cast that devil in your name. Okay, I don't know you. On the list, we can't find you. So depart. So I will say that, but then to be honest, I've been progressive, but I'm still work in progress. You know, I was in an interview some days ago, and they asked me almost the same question. And I'm going to answer the same way. What are you doing outside? Oh boy. You are losing. You are absolutely losing. Whose breath is in your lungs? Whose breath? So God created man in His image and after His likeness. Male and female created them. Bible records in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26, and breathed into his nostrils, and man became a living soul. So he became a living soul through the breath of God, and you are neglecting that kind of God. The God we are talking about here is the living God, whose son is Jesus, who is also part of the Godhead, who is God Himself, according to John 1:1. Everything was made by Him, and nothing that was made without Him. In Him, nor was His life. I will tell you now, in Him is your life. And that life is the light of men. So, if you are neglecting the one whose life is in you, you are a bastard. Come home and come and fight with Him. Maybe He came to you and you forbade Him. But to many as received Him, He gave power to become sons of God, and to men that believe on His name. So, come back home. It's Jesus you need. You don't need every other God. It's a work of men. So all those forms of gods that you are seeing everywhere, let me tell you, they can't give you life. Jesus is the way. It's not one of the ways. He is the way. Definite article. the way. And until you know that way, you can't get to the end. And you need the way. Who will show you the way? It's not like Jesus. So come back home. Selah.